Okay guys, in this video we're going to talk about your video project. So in this project, as you already know, what you're going to do is to shoot 3 or more clips that all revolve around a theme and then use either Adobe Premiere Pro or Adobe Premiere Rush to put them together. Your theme could be something like, football. It could be a video portrait of a person. It could be somebody making coffee. It could be a car. It could be a dog, whatever you would like it to be. Just make sure that all of your clips revolve around that same theme, but they have different types of shots. So I already have all of my media for this right here in a folder. I put it all together. In this folder, I've got 3 videos. I've also got some text and I've got some music. I downloaded this song from freemusicarchive.org, which is a website full of public domain music. I have Premiere Pro open. I'm in the editing workspace because I'm going to edit this project together, but you can switch to other workspaces. And what I want to do is I'm going to add my media right over here to what we're going to call this bin. That's where it holds all of our media. So I've got it all in this folder. I'm going to select it all and drag it and drop it to that location. Okay. If anything pops up, just click OK. Now I can see that I have all of my media right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to one by one click on it and drag it over here to my timeline section. Once I drag the media to my timeline section, I can play it. So I've got my video up here. It might play a little bit choppy depending on your computer. And I've got the whole video right there. If I want to, I can cut different parts of it off. Like if I don't really need the beginning, maybe I just want it to start right here. What I'm going to do is hover over the beginning of the clip until I see this little red cursor and then click and drag so it cuts that part off. Maybe I don't want the end either. So right here, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to hover over the end until I see the red cursor and move it over. So let's see what that looks like now. I'm going to drag that to the beginning of my timeline, move the playhead back to the beginning, hit the space bar to play it. And we can see that I've got Charlie dribbling right here. Cool. If I want to add another clip to it, I'm going to select another clip, drag it over here as well. If it goes on top of it, it will cover up that part of the video and I won't be able to see it. If you have a clip that has audio, you can see that my clips don't have any audio. Let's see if this one does. Does this one have any audio? This one also does not have audio. If your clip has audio and you want to get rid of it, right click it and say unlink, which is right here. And then you can select the audio down here. And then you can delete it and your audio will go away. So these clips all have audio, but it's empty. So I'm just selecting each clip, right-clicking it, saying unlink, selecting the audio, and then deleting it. So I've added 3 clips here. You can see that it plays through this one, and then when it gets to the end, it plays through the next one, and when it gets to the end of that one, it goes to the next clip. Remember, if I want to shorten parts of it, I can hover over the beginning of the clip, move it over here to the beginning. If I want to get rid of parts at the end, hover over the end, move that. But now you can see that I've got space here. So if I play, once it gets to the end of this clip, it's just going to be black until it gets to the next clip. And it'll do the same thing here. So you really normally want to make sure that your clips kind of line up perfectly. And you can do that in these different layers, or you can just kind of put them side by side down here. It kind of depends on which way you want to do that. If you want to add another one, you can right click and add a track, and you can have as many tracks or layers as you want. So let's look at it. Maybe let's make this a little fancier. So I've got one clip that's black and white, the other 2 are in color. Let's make this a little more cohesive. I'm going to switch to my effects tab up at the top, and I'm going to click on Lumetri Color. And let's change the look. I'm going to pull up the creative section, and we can just change or you could also just pull the saturation all the way down to the left. But there's different looks which are kind of like presets for this as well. Let's try one of these. There we go. Now I can go to the other one, do the same thing. Click on the clip, make sure your playhead is on top of it so you can see what you're doing. I'm going to pull the saturation all the way down, change the look to that same thing or something similar. Now all of my clips should have some sort of cohesion. They should kind of go together. This last clip is pretty long, which it doesn't need to be. It's needlessly long, so I'm going to make it much, much shorter. Now maybe I want to add some text to this. So let's see. I'm going to go back to my editing workspace where I can see all of my media, and I'm going to drag the little text that I made in Photoshop on top of it. We can see that the text plays right there. It looks a little low res. If you want to size things down, You can do that normally as well. You can go into your graphics tab and size it down. You can also click on the actual thing itself, click on effect controls, and you can, I just want you guys exploring. There's a lot of stuff you can do in Premiere. A lot of it's stuff that you guys already know how to do because of Photoshop. So play around, see what you can find. Premiere's a pretty cool program. You'll be surprised how much you already know how to do. So let's look at this. So the name comes up. Maybe you make the name go away right there. And then he keeps dribbling. Maybe here I want to do something weird with it. Maybe I'll do this. I'll cut off the end. And maybe that last part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my razor tool to kind of clip off the last part. And the last part, we'll just copy and paste it, and we'll reverse it. So now here at the end, I'll right click it and say speed and duration and reverse speed. Let's see what that looks like now. So now he goes forward and then he goes backwards. And then we'll go into the next clip here, which I don't really need until right about there. So I'm gonna cut that down, move it over, move this one over as well. We're now at around 14 seconds. You can see that he's just kind of dribbling there. Still might be a few seconds too long there, so we'll cut off the end of that. Move this back over some more. And then we've got the basketball at the end. If I want that to be in slow motion, I can just right click it and say speed and duration and maybe make that 50%. And that's pretty close to 20 seconds. Moved back to the beginning. I hit the space bar to play. And we can kind of see what we've done here. So now it goes backwards. Then it goes into this. And then it has that at the end. So the last thing I'm going to do for this is just add some music. I can click and drag my music. I'm going to drag it to the bottom because that's where all of our audio tracks are. I'm going to cut off the beginning because we can cut off music just the same way we cut off clips. Hit the space bar to play and kind of see what it does. There we go. Now, if I were to export this how it is right now, this video would be, let's see, a little over 3 minutes long, and the majority of it would just be black video with music, which I don't need because I only have 20 seconds of video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom out with this little scrubby tool down here, pull that all the way out, and we'll just cut off the music. So I'm going to hover over the end of the music until I see that red cursor, move it until it goes right down there to the end. There's, of course, other things that you can do in Premiere as well. There's all different sorts of things you can add to it. I recommend messing around with the different effects, seeing what you can do there. If you click on the word effects, you can see there's all different sorts of ones. Let's do a video effect. Actually, let's do a video transition, because what I'm going to have happen is, let's do a dip to black at the end. I'm just going to click on that, drag it on top of this at the end. So now, right here, it should fade to black. Perfect. Now there's other sorts of cuts that you can add or transitions that you can add to it also. There's different video effects which can maybe give you some strange effects if you want it. Maybe on this one where it goes backwards, we want to add some weird effect to it. Let's do posterize. Drag that on top of it, and you can see what it looks like. That's got a very 80s look. You can Control Z to undo things. Let's try strobe light. That's kind of cool. I don't hate that. So yeah, we've got our video. It's got 3 different clips. We did some backward stuff. We did some slow-mo stuff. We added music to it. We added text. And it's just right at 20 seconds long, maybe a little bit under. But yeah, we can see what we've done. Everything's pretty cohesive. We have all of our clips revolve around the theme of basketball. It's all black and white. You can shoot stuff like this on your phone. You can shoot it with your actual camera, whatever you need to. When you're done, it's time to export it. If you're not done, just hit save or save as. You can save a copy that you can edit. If you are done and you no longer need to edit, hit File, Export, Media. When you're here, a couple things you need to look at. One is the name of the file. Click on the blue text. Give it a name, tell it where you want it to go. I'm going to export mine to my pictures folder. And then you normally just want to make sure that the format is in H.264. That'll just give you a normal MP4 file. There's other things you can mess around with here. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it. So when you're ready, just hit the word export, give it a minute, and then you'll have your finished exported video ready to go when you're done. So that's how to assemble a themed clip using Adobe Premiere Pro.